Good evening and welcome to NewsNight. Tonight we'll have all of your international, national, and local news.
And I'm Robert Fornatero. Tensions continue to rise in the Middle East, and a meteorite is spotted in the local area.
Plus, Pittsburgh Public Schools make a decision on how they will operate during the NFL Draft.
All this and more coming up on NewsNight. As tensions continue to build in the Middle East, a massive escalation has ripped through the region following a targeted strike on one of Iran's most powerful leaders. On Tuesday, the Israel Defense Forces confirmed they were successful in the killing of Iran's top security official, Ali Larijani, in a precision airstrike near Tehran Larijani. The Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council was a pivotal wartime leader following the recent death of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. And while the conflict is thousands of miles away, the impact is reaching all the way to Pittsburgh, with local drivers already seeing a sharp rise in gas prices, with pumps averaging nearly $4 a gallon as global energy markets react to a fear of a wider conflict. As of now, the United States and Israel are continuing a campaign of strikes aimed at Iran's leadership, leaving many on edge, as the war enters a potentially deadlier phase.
General Gustavo González López is appointed Venezuela's new defense chief by Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, on Wednesday, March 18th. González López has served as Commander General of the Presidential Honor Guard and head of the military's featured counterintelligence agency since Rodriguez came to power on January 6th after former President Nicolas Maduro was captured in a military operation. This cabinet change has officially denounced General Vladimir Pedrino Lopez, a long-standing supporter of Maduro, from his role as defense chief. Pedrino Lopez was one of the longest-standing cabinet ministers since the dawn of Maduro's presidency in 2013, and one of Venezuela's longest-serving defense ministers since his appointment in 2014. Despite Pedrino Lopez's relationship and support of Maduro, Rodriguez still thanked him for his, quote, loyalty to the homeland, end quote.
A major crackdown in China targeting the fentanyl supply chain is occurring as authorities in Hubei province say 7 people have been arrested and more than 200 websites have been shut down for selling chemicals used to make the drug. Investigators link the operation to more than 20 cases, with additional suspects detained or still under investigation. Officials say many of the sales were happening online, making the chemicals easy to access internationally. The move comes as pressure continues to grow between the United States and China over the role of fentanyl precursors in the ongoing opioid crisis. Chinese authorities say this is part of a larger effort to crack down on illegal drug production and limit the global flow of these dangerous substances.
The Senate rejects legislation efforts toward halting the U.S. military campaign against Iran for a second time in a Senate hearing on Wednesday, March 18th. In a 47-53 vote, the Senate overruled the Democratic-led effort. According to Democratic Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, who led the resolution, the effort would direct the president to, quote, remove the United States Armed Forces from hostilities within or against Iran unless explicitly authorized by a declaration of war or a specific authorization for use of military force, end quote. Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania is the only Democrat senator to vote against the advancements, and GOP Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky is the only Republican to support it.
Just 2 months before Corey Richins was arrested and charged with the murder of her husband, Eric Richins, the mother of 3 self-published a book to help her sons process their grief. Now, 3 years later, Richins has been found guilty of murder and all other charges she faced in the 2022 death of her husband. Eric Richins was found dead in the couple's home in Kamas, Utah, early in the morning on March 4, 2022. An autopsy revealed he had roughly 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in his system. Over the course of 13 days, prosecutors called more than 40 witnesses to testify about supposed troubles in the Richins marriage, and on Monday, it only took the 8-panel jury about 3 hours after hearing closing arguments to make their decision. Richard's sentencing is currently scheduled for May 13, 2026, which would have been Eric's 44th birthday. A falling star was seen and heard in the local area. Reporter Sam Myrick is in the studio to tell us more. Sam?
Just last Tuesday, a meteorite was spotted and heard before breaking apart above Ohio. It was just before 9 a.m. on March 17th when people from Canada and 10 states, including Pennsylvania and Ohio, reported hearing a loud boom. A few reports also include buildings shaking at the time of the boom. NASA confirmed that this was a meteor the same day, along with the National Weather Services of Pittsburgh and Cleveland. The meteor was first visible above Lake Erie before traveling south at over 40,000 miles per hour. NASA reports the meteor to have been 6 feet in diameter and over 7 tons. The meteor and noise were captured on cameras in Pennsylvania and Ohio and posted to social media. Fragments of the meteor are likely to be found in Medina County, Ohio.
Korean automaker Hyundai is under major scrutiny after an incident occurred in a 2026 Hyundai Palisade SUV that caused a 2-year-old girl to lose her life. The incident was the result of the vehicle's second-row power-operated seats not detecting the weight of the child while adjusting and effectively pinning her. Specific details have not been released by the family or Hyundai's public relations team, as the complete investigation is still ongoing. Prior to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration taking action, the company voluntarily issued a temporary stop sale on the 2026 Palisade Limited and calligraphy trim levels while they work on a proper recall and solution. We will be heading for a short break. After the break, a rodent was spotted at a local establishment. Plus, the Pittsburgh police chief speaks out about a controversial incident. NewsNight will be right back. Don't go anywhere. It's official. Point Park University is not the only one leaving downtown for the NFL draft. Pittsburgh Public Schools is now following that trend, announcing Tuesday that all district schools will shift to remote learning from April 22nd through the 24th. As Pittsburgh gears up to bring what's estimated to be between 500 and 700,000 football fans to the Golden Triangle, Superintendent Wayne Walters says the move is necessary for students' safety and logistics. However, this decision has sparked concern for parents over the impact of more time being taken away from the classroom. For most students, the draft week will consist of asynchronous work, meaning they will be working independently from home rather than joining live sessions. State PSSA testing previously scheduled for that week will have also been pushed back to accommodate the change. Pittsburgh Police Chief Jason Landau officially addresses claims that the Bureau of Police did not intervene when an ICE arrest outside of a city police station turned violent last week. On Thursday, March 12th, an incident occurred near the Zone 3 police station on East Warrington Avenue in the Allentown neighborhood, where an ICE agent struggled to take somebody into custody. The Pittsburgh Bureau of Police has since been under fire for not assisting in the arrest. Landau has come out to debunk allegations that the police were specifically instructed not to intervene and were, quote, forced to stand by and watch, end quote. To this, Lando claims that he was not aware of any order prohibiting them from involving themselves. He also went on to state that the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police does not work in collaboration with ICE and that the Bureau's job, quote, is not to conduct immigration enforcement, end quote. A bar in the South Side is trying to build back its reputation after a rodent was spotted there. Reporter Nico Rich is in the studio with the details. Nico?
A Southside bar is working to rebuild trust after a viral video raised concerns about health and safety. After a rat was spotted near the beer faucets at the Urban Tap, the business quickly faced public backlash and dropped in customers. Owner John DeMero says the initial reaction was frustration, but his focus quickly shifted to fixing the problem. An inspection by the Allegheny County Health Department found no active infestation, but rodent droppings were discovered in multiple areas. Then a follow-up inspection showed no active rodent activity with clean and disinfected spaces and ongoing weekly pest control reports. DeMero calls the incident a one-off situation and says new cleaning procedures and decluttering efforts are now in place. He acknowledges that some customers may still feel uneasy, but says his responsibility is to earn back their trust.
Point Park's Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences, Becky Spritz, spoke to the Student Government Association this past Monday, giving updates on her first year as dean at Point Park. Some of their goals include increasing the school's awareness both at Point Park and in the greater Pittsburgh area, along with creating collaborative degree programs across the school, specifically mentioning fast-tracked MBA programs. Spritz told senators she will continue to meet with faculty and students in the school. If you'd like to see the full meeting, you can view it on their YouTube channel at Point Park SGA.
A lottery player in the city of Pittsburgh has won $1 million. After scratching off a lottery ticket, one lucky person won the revealing prize of $1 million at the Get Go location along the East Carson Street in the South Side. The lottery ticket that was won off of is the $1 million winnings game, and it's a $20 scratch-off, with the top prize being $1 million, and one lucky person has just won that top prize. The Getco store along East Carson Street is receiving a $5,000 bonus for selling the winning ticket.
A protester in Greensburg was allegedly robbed and assaulted while protesting on Tuesday. Greg Powers has been protesting in front of the Westmoreland County Courthouse for 291 days straight. Powers claims that they were silently protesting when the suspect left his vehicle on the opposite side of the road to confront Powers. During the altercation, suspect Justin Bowser forcibly removed an American flag away from the protester. Powers commented saying that, quote, "I was taken by surprise. In the end, I was here peacefully. He doesn't understand freedom of speech. He believes people he disagrees with shouldn't be able to exercise their rights," end quote. According to law officials, the suspect Justin Bowser faces criminal charges for the attack on Powers.
The Pittsburgh Zoo and Aquarium is looking ahead to the future with early plans for a possible new aquarium on the North Shore. Officials say they're in the beginning stages of studying whether a separate, standalone aquarium could work, potentially bringing a new attraction to the city's riverfront. The idea would place the facility near other popular destinations on the North Shore, while the current zoo would remain in the Highland Park. WTAE reports that the leaders said, quote, "The goal is to expand education and conservation efforts while also drawing in more visitors," end quote. For now, nothing is final, and the project is still in the planning phase. You can check out WTAE.com as details are released. After the break, cancer patients in Boston are receiving flowers from an anonymous individual, plus our daily and weekly Pittsburgh weather update. Stay tuned.
A woman in Boston was honored for her selfless act of being an anonymous flower fairy. Ruth Chip Spalding, a breast cancer survivor, was anonymously sending flowers to cancer patients for the past 11 years. This past Monday, she was honored working with Ellie Fund. Chip paid for flowers to be sent to patients. Meredith Mendelson, the Ellie Fund executive director, said, quote, "It is a very authentic way to say you're here and we see you, and we know that you're struggling and you're not alone," end quote. At the 13th annual Ellie Fund Gala, Chip was honored for her selfless acts by an endowment being created to keep her gifts blooming. Patients who Chip sent flowers to attended the gala to thank her for her act of kindness. Chip said, quote, "It makes people happy and they remember the day. It's just a lift, you could say it's a breath of fresh air. I never thought about any sort of impact, and last night it was very obvious." The first official day of spring is here, and weather reporter Alyssa Mandarak has the daily and weekly forecast. Alyssa?
Thanks, guys. Today we are out in Mellon Park. It is nice and partly cloudy. We've got about a temperature of about 55 degrees today. Little bit of wind, but it feels super nice and bright out. Tomorrow we are looking at a high of 62 with a low of 43 and about a 57% chance of precipitation with some PM showers. And now let's take a look at our weekly weather. In true Pittsburgh weather fashion, the weekly temperatures are all over the place. The weekend will have warmer temperatures. On Saturday, which is the first official day of spring, there will be a high of 64 degrees. Sunday will be a little warmer with a high of 76 degrees. To start the week on Monday, cold temperatures will return with a high of 42 degrees. Tuesday will be similar. On Wednesday, temperature will creep back up into the 50s. And on Thursday, we will feel spring-like weather when it will be 66 degrees. Now that was your weekly weather. I'm Alyssa Mandarak reporting out in Mellon Park for NewsNight. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Alyssa, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of NewsNight. If you want to see more, check out our social media pages on both Facebook and Instagram at UView Television.
You can also check out more episodes on our YouTube channel or our website, uview.pointpark.edu. I'm Ruthie Light.
And I'm Robert Fornatero. From everyone here at NewsNight, thank you for watching and have a great evening.